Hello and welcome to the KINE 2350 Annotated Bibliography Workshop. I've created this as a resource for you, as many of my students in the past have struggled with the assignment and a clear understanding of exactly what plagiarism is. This may be your first attempt at academic writing, and I anticipate this workshop will help you get started on the right foot. This is a required activity. Upon completion of the attached quiz, Assignment 1.2 will open up for you. What exactly is an annotated bibliography? Why do I require my students to write in this manner? An annotated bibliography is a brief overview or summary of an evidence-based journal article, or in some cases, a public health-related website. The annotated bibliography provides a summary of what the central idea is, the main points or results of a scientific study, and why the content is important. This written communication requires you to synthesize and summarize a journal article in your own words. A good exercise and starting point for the writing that you will be expected to do later in the course and throughout the degree program. Further, when you and your team start to work on your screen-recorded oral presentation in Module 3, the annotated bibliographies you have developed will serve as the foundation for your oral presentation content. I found a great online resource that will help you approach this assignment. Take a look at the Huffington Post 7 Steps to Write a Perfect Annotated Bibliography, referring to that information as you develop your written work. I have included the link for you on this slide. Take a few minutes now to review that resource before you go any further. Now that you have an idea of exactly what an annotated bibliography is, it is time to choose 3 sources. Before you start searching for articles, check in with your team members so that you can work together to identify a health topic or issue. Remember, although this annotated bibliography assignment is individual, it is related to your team oral presentation. After you and your team members have identified the topic of interest, think about how you can split that topic into categories. This division of the topic prevents one of you from duplicating another team member's effort. For example, if the topic you decide upon is childhood obesity in Texas, and you are working with a team of 4 people, you might divide the topic in this manner. Team member number 1 chooses articles related to childhood obesity in the United States in order to provide an overall summary of the current situation. Team member number 2 chooses articles related to the causes of childhood obesity and how social determinants of health have such a strong impact on the current obesity crisis. Team member number 3 chooses articles on the impact of overweight or obesity for children. For example, children who are overweight or obese experience high levels of emotional distress due to low self-esteem, bullying, and other factors that impact their daily lives. Team member number 4 chooses articles or information directly related to childhood obesity in Texas. Resources such as the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the Texas Department of Health and Human Services are fantastic resources for quantitative data that can later be used in the oral presentation. As you divide the topic and settle on your 3 sources, be sure to take notes as you read the journal article. These notes will be the foundation for your annotated bibliography. Remember, you will write 3 separate annotated bibliographies, one for each of the 3 articles or resources you select. Now that you have decided on your 3 journal articles or resources, it is time to write the citation part of your annotated bibliography. This link provides you with an example of an annotated bibliography written in APA style, which is the requirement for this assignment. I have included a screenshot for you on this slide, as when you go to the example, you have to scroll down a bit to see this example. Be sure to use APA formatting for this assignment. I suggest you create the citations for all 3 resources first. Then you will be ready to write your annotations. Now you are ready to write the drafts of your selected articles. This slide provides you with some do's and don'ts. Do include the author's background and credentials, as it provides your reader with context and credibility. Do not include your opinion of the article or information, quotes from the article. Remember, this is to be written in your own words, a summary of the article, not a summary that contains quotes or other people's words. Now that you have written your 3 drafts, it is time to proofread those. I advise that you read each draft out loud. I do that all the time, and it helps me catch minor writing errors. Then, take time to get your work reviewed by the UTA Writing Center. This is a free resource that will enable you to get an individual appointment at no charge. Use this resource often in this class and throughout your Bachelor of Science in Public Health degree. It is free and will help you develop your written communication skills. Your work has been completed, proofread, and polished. It is now time to submit your assignment. List all 3 annotated bibliographies on one Microsoft Word document. Upon submission, you will notice that you have a UniCheck index. This is a good indication of whether or not the work you submitted is indeed your own. The index should be below 15%. Keep in mind that if you use work from another course, another student, or the internet, the UniCheck index will be quite high. You are allowed additional submissions as needed, but keep in mind that this can be a very time-consuming process. Do this assignment the right way the first time. Then you won't have to worry about your UniCheck index. After your annotated bibliography is submitted, you are ready to share the information with your team members. Keep in mind that this information sharing process should be the foundation for your oral presentation, which you and your team members will create as a team, working to create one presentation that will be submitted on behalf of the entire team. Now that you are aware of the basic steps required to create an annotated bibliography, let's take a look at 2 examples of an annotated bibliography. The example you see on this screen is an example of A-level work. Although this is not perfect, it is a good example of a student who did this type of assignment for the very first time. You will note that the text is in Times New Roman, size 12 font, and the annotation is double-spaced. In addition, the citation is double-spaced with the second line hanging or indented according to APA format. And now let's look at an example of a poorly written annotated bibliography. In this example, we see that the citation is not in APA format. In addition, the first sentence has sentence structure errors along with grammatical and writing errors. The word given should be replaced with written or presented. And when expressing numbers in APA format, numbers under 10 should be spelled out. The second sentence has content and singular and plural errors. The student mentions some intervention when he or she should have described the intervention using the title listed by the author. Further, the expression the economic should be expressed as the economics. The third sentence is an example of using first-person language when the student states, "I choose this article." A more appropriate way to express this would be to state, "This article is important as it describes an evidence-based intervention that has been effectively used in urban settings similar to the DFW Metroplex, or effectively used in rural areas similar to some rural areas of Texas." This slide serves as an additional reminder related to the importance of doing work and submitting your own work. Keep in mind that you have been informed about the plagiarism and academic conduct policies in multiple places thus far, including the KINE 2350 attestation form you signed at the beginning of this course, The UTA Honor Code and additional information included in the KINE 2350 course syllabus, and finally in the BS Public Health Student Handbook, which you are required to read and sign that you understand the applicable policies. The Student Handbook is located in the BS Public Health Pathway to Graduation, which you were invited to join at the beginning of this course. To conclude, here I have listed a couple of reminders to leave as your final takeaways prior to getting started on your annotated bibliography assignment. Do contact the UTA Writing Center for this assignment and others throughout your BS Public Health degree plan. One of the main communication competencies that you need to develop are related to your written communication skills. In order to develop your writing skills to a professional level, you will need to work hard, especially if you're like me. I had to work very hard and continue to work on my own writing skills. Finally, keep in mind that if you do violate the academic dishonesty policies, you will be referred by your faculty to the UTA Office of Student Conduct. If found responsible for plagiarism or other academic dishonesty, the applicable consequences will be applied and may impact not only your graduation date, but your standing as a student in the Bachelor of Science in Public Health program and at the university.